Hey, personal finance fans. Welcome to my monthly net worth update for February 2021. I've been tracking my net worth monthly since 2007, but I am new to posting this information on YouTube. I keep myself anonymous because I do feel that allows me to be more open and honest with you. Now, my January update, which I will link above, contains more of my own background, but as a quick summary, I am 50 years old. I'm single without children. I work a normal 8 to 5 job like many of you. I've also long been a follower of the FIRE movement even before I knew of what that term meant. For today's update, I'll hit on a few items. One, I'll go over any event or item that impacted my net worth over the 28 days of February. Then I'll quickly go through the current assets, liabilities, and my new resulting net worth. I'll discuss progress on my 2021 financial goals, a quick look ahead to March so you kind of understand what's going to be changing with my net worth for then. And then I want to do a touch point on my YouTube metrics. A new, only 6 weeks old YouTube channel, very small channel. And many of you have given me great feedback and encouragement since I started this channel. So I just kind of wanted to do a quick update for any of you that care about that, how many views, subscribers, etc. that I've seen over the last month. I've also created helpful chapters below if you want to jump to any of the topics that interest you the most, but hopefully you find them all interesting. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So what impacted my net worth this month? Well, there's been a huge variation I've found with what I have on the stock market and with my cryptocurrency portfolio. It's gone up and down with both of these over the month of February. For the first time ever, I sold a large amount of cryptocurrency. I've been slowly accumulating this over the past 3-4 years. And for this past month, I did decide to take the leap of actually selling what I feel is a sizable amount, $5,000 worth of cryptocurrency. I also paid off my car. So I had the money to pay it off. I had about 6 months left and I had the money saved up and I was going to pay it off by March or April, but I decided to go ahead and take the plunge and actually go ahead and pay it off. And it feels great to have that payment completely off the books. And I think I'm going to be getting the title for my car in the next couple days. So excited to see that. And also I kickstarted my property tax sinking fund for 2021. So I live in Texas, which is, we do not have an income tax here, but we do have a property tax. So every year I have a property tax bill that's due at the end of 2021. So what I normally do is create a sinking fund and fund it over the 12 months so it slowly gets to the point that it's taken care of by November or December, and then I write the check. Now I'm going to try to get this taken care of as early as possible this year so it's behind me. I had a pretty good jump start on that one, so it's about funded halfway. It's about $4,000 that I already have funded in there, so hopefully it'll be behind me very soon. But let's go ahead and jump right into the numbers though. So my net worth for February 2021. So on the asset side, the checking and savings and retirement account are all up this year, not by a large amount. The retirement account was higher in the mid-month, but the stock market has retreated some, so it's a little bit back to where it is a growth, but it's not large growth. Cryptocurrency, like with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, grew by a tremendous amount. So that's up 27% from January, which is just hard to believe that it's grown that much. It was higher than this, but it has over the past week settled down a little bit. I left my home, my car values the same, so you can see on here my total assets are a little over 1.3 million, which then is a 5% growth from the previous month. Liabilities, my credit card bill is a little bit higher this month. I had some semi-annual insurance that was on there, my car insurance, so it was larger than last month. And as I said previously, my car loan was paid off and my mortgage went down by the same amount. So liabilities of $164,000, and that represents a 3% drop. Given the fact that I'm not actively pushing hard on my mortgage, I don't expect my liabilities to be dropping by that much in future monthly updates. It will just basically be however the credit card balance is and then the standard dropping of the mortgage principal every month. So what is that there? So assets minus liabilities equals net worth. So therefore my net worth was just shy of $1.2 million, which is a crazy number. It's hard to believe that I'm saying that because it's been many years of not being anywhere near this amount. So that represents a 68 per thousand or 6% gain over last month. I don't think that I can expect to see a 6% gain every single month, but that's fantastic news. And overall for the past year, that's a growth of 300,000 or 35%. That's also another number that I can't expect to be seeing long term. I imagine that I'll still see a high percentage growth over the upcoming months, just naturally because of I'm looking at for an annual number, but I don't expect to be seeing 35% in the upcoming years. One thing I wanted to touch on as a quick lesson when I was putting these numbers together is around the fallacy of what we often do when we start seeing any sort of investment grow and how when it retreats a little bit, it can make us feel bad, but it really shouldn't. So I'm going to touch on that real briefly here as a lesson if you'll bear with me. So right here represents the S&P 500 index for the month of February. So at the end of January through the end of February right here. And of course, the S&P 500 are about the largest 500 largest companies, and this kind of represents like a basket if you put them all in the stock market together. As you can see on here, had a tremendous first half of the month, and it plateaued a little bit, and then it did drop off a little at the end. But let's say you had $10,000 invested in the S&P 500 at the end of January. Well, by mid-February, you already had 10,600. So, that's a really nice growth. But then it did kind of retreat a little bit to 10,250 at the end of the month. What I've found that happens to me, and I know this happens with other people as well, is that like when I see a 6% gain in the middle of the month, I start thinking psychologically that the 10,600 is the new base. And that's really not a good way to think, because what then will invariably happen is it'll have a natural retreat and it will come down, and then you actually might feel a little bit depressed that, wow, I lost 3%, and that's not the case at all. So we have to always be on the lookout to make sure that every time any investment hits a new high or a recent high, that we don't turn around and in our mind think of that as the new base, because you will continually be disappointed, and you don't want to be depressed about this, because this was not a 3% loss for the month of February. It was a 2.5% gain overall, and that's a tremendous gain for 1 month. So it shouldn't be looked upon as a negative. So I just caution you that I know I've gotten caught in this trap before. So I'd recommend to you that you try to stay away from this one, because it is easy to get caught up in setting new highs as the new base, and then you're a little bit depressed when you see it come down. So how am I doing on my 2021 financial goals? So I kind of break these into two things. My solid locked in goals. This is where, like for instance, that I'm going to max out my 401k contributions, the standard 19.5 and the 6,500 catch up, because unfortunately I am 50 plus. And also I wanted to pay off my car in March, which actually I already said, I think twice now, that I did it in February. So on all of these right here, check mark. I'm really kind of on target for all of these. One thing though I do want to add, I actually, all of a sudden I was looking at what I was contributing, and I noticed that I had done a math mistake, and I was not on pace to hit 6,500 catch up after the month of January. I thought I was. I had just, I guess, calculated it incorrectly. So I actually then had to readjust that. I am back on track now, but it's a good lesson that we should always be looking at the numbers, double or triple checking them, because you don't want to find yourself getting into the later part of the year and then realize that you're not going to save as much as you thought. And then either you're not going to save it or you're going to have to really kick in a lot more money. So we all make mistakes. Never hurts to double check it a month or so later. As far as my aspirational goals for 2021, I want to pivot more to a 401k Roth. So I've already started doing that one. So that's where every few paychecks, I'm going to switch out a few percentage points out of the conventional tax-free 401k contribution and move it over to the 401k Roth. So it means my paycheck becomes a little bit smaller. So I'm going to do it over a period of a couple months. So therefore it's not quite so painful. So I've done that one. The start non-retirement investment account, I have not done that yet. And actually where I say I wanted to add to my cryptocurrency balance, it was actually the opposite since I decided to sell. So that is not occurring. It still might, but I haven't done that yet. And I want now, my two new aspirational goals are for this year is that I want to start and complete a vacation sinking fund. So when we ever start going on vacations again, I'll be able to start taking advantage of that one. And then I want to start a new car sinking fund that will be not completed this year unless something happens like a lottery win. Really, what I want to do is that when I'm ready for a new car within a couple of years, I want to have a sinking fund completely fund that. So that's where I want to start that, and it's going to be a long-term project to get that done. So now a look ahead towards March. What's going to be happening in my financial world here? So I receive an annual retirement funding from my employer. This is above and beyond the normal matching contribution, so I get a little bit extra, which is fantastic to see that. I also see a small bonus check, but I always look at it regardless of how small a check is. It's always great to receive a bonus, so I'll be getting that in mid-March. It's not going to be not even half of what a normal paycheck will be, but once again, very happy to receive it. And I also, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I've started an annual property tax sinking fund for, it's not due until December. My aspirational goal is that I want to complete this fund. That's going to probably take a lot of belt tightening to do that. It's probably more realistic that I'm going to finish this in April, but we'll see. I'm going to try to do my best in March, but not to the point of depriving myself of any fun or maybe even attempt to go out to a few restaurants with friends. So we'll see where I get with this one, but I'm definitely going to continue to get this out of the way as soon as possible. So anyway, that is my net worth statement for the month of February 2021. As promised, I wanted to do a quick touch point on my YouTube channel stats on here. So I started my channel about 6 weeks ago, and as you can see on here, here is a screen print from my YouTube channel for the last 4 weeks. So over those 28 days, I had 275 views, 18 hours of watch time, and many of you have honored me by subscribing to my channel. So first off, thank you all very much. I realize that for many people, this is not many views, not many watched hours, but this definitely exceeded my expectations for the month of February, and I hope it does nothing but continue. I did release 5 videos in February, and right now I'm not on track, or I don't know what I'm going to be doing for March yet, but I have a goal of at least 3 or 4 videos, so we'll see where we go on here. So anyway, thank you all for watching this video, and thank you for watching the past videos. It's really been a lot of fun and learning experience putting these together, and I hope you enjoyed seeing my net worth statement for the end of February 2021, and I hope you have a great day.